Tap, 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 tap.
Hello? We're live.
Of Blades. Are we? Am I okay?
I didn't hear any of what you just said.
You froze. You froze right then. Right at the spot. Perfect.
John, you better just take it. You better just take it, John.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to We'll Play Blades. Episode 18. We are back. We've been gone due to scheduling woes of various sorts, but we are back in the swing of it. We are ready to get back into some assassin action. A wonderful cast here today. How's everybody doing? Marcus?
Everyone's great.
So good. Also dying.
Yeah. You're in and out. You're coming and going. Hopefully we'll have you for the remainder. And you seem to be lost in a white void inside the Matrix somewhere.
That's where I moved to.
How's that going? How's your...
It's good. It's stressful. You know, moving is, I think Chad was telling me, it's one of the top 3 like most stressful things that you can do. And it is pretty stressful. And I'm just like looking out at my belongings and just like stressing out about having to set all this back up. And I think especially as a streamer, you know, having to tear everything down and put everything back up is just like a huge process. So our stuff literally got delivered yesterday at like 3:00. So it's just a mess right now. So I'm the reason to blame. We're going to do a bit of a shorter show today because my life is just in shambles. So.
Oh, thank you for doing it.
I'm glad you could make it. Yeah.
No, for sure. It's been so long. I was like, I don't want to cancel just because I'm moving, but that's why also I'm not at my regular setup. So yeah. Other than that, it's, you know, just great. I'm just slowly dying a miserable death in this new abyss that I have moved to. So.
Oh, Anne.
It's great.
Oh my god.
Also, Marcus just moved, right?
Yeah.
Just moved too.
I did. I'm in the same boat. I'm using the most Frankensteinish setup right now. In fact, I'm just gonna take a picture and then I'll send it. I had to like set up a second monitor because I was panicking, realizing that like I could not do the show on this laptop monitor, that like there's not enough space for me to have information open. So I'm really glad I did that. But my desk doesn't come until Tuesday, and let me tell you, like, that has to be one of the worst feelings in the world. It's just to not have a place to put basically, you know, the battle station. It's like it hurts right here, right in the heart. But if you were following along with my Sears washer and dryer adventure,
oh my god,
it finally got resolved. I have the washer and dryer. I feel like I won. I feel like this is a djWHEAT victory for sure. Fighting through the perilous caverns that is the Sears customer service.
Marcus, I did ask you.
What?
In 10 years, when the Graham household moves to the moon base as Twitch acquires the moon, are you going to return to Sears for your space dryer and washer?
I will never return to Sears ever again, Jeff.
Yes. Wow.
Yes.
Was that bad?
This was that bad that I will never do business with that company ever again. I appreciate the crew that made everything right. Those guys were killer. It's too bad. You could tell that they sent out the fucking G units to make this happen. Like, it was so obvious from like who originally came to who we had here yesterday. It was night and day. These guys were straight up professionals. They were the team that was deployed when it's like, we've got red alert here. We need Danny and
They're like the
but
so
that's
your bad experience was this crew that came out then?
I won't go into the very, very long story, but let me just explain that like they pulled up in a truck. This is the first crew, day one. Everything's supposed to get delivered. They pulled up. They came into our apartment. They were here for about 2 minutes. The guy opens up the closet. He looks at the old washer and dryer. He looks at his buddy. He looks at me. He goes, "Oh, you guys bought the wrong dryer. You got to go back to the store and get the right one." And I'm like,
Nice.
hold on. No. This is wrong. And they just insisted we bought the wrong dryer and left. Would not unload it. Would not attempt to install it. Like it all started from there. So you can imagine the phone calls that were had. Yeah, I would just like be wary, right? Like, and with any delivery or installation thing, like make sure that you hound the shit out of them to find out what is going on, because that was the other thing, is they just weren't given information. It was crazy bad customer service. I can't even, the worst I've ever had in my life.
I get that. Anytime I deal with bad customer service, that's like the only time you'll ever see like post-apocalyptic vindictive Jeff is like, well, I'm going to make sure that everything possible will burn down around you because this is so bad.
My Jen was like, you are a bigger man than I am, because I would have been like, 3 or 4 phone calls ago, I would have been like, fuck you, fuck your store, give me my money back. And I'm like, no, you don't understand. As someone who's in customer service for a long time, this is now like a personal, this is no different than like having a problem on my computer and being like, I will figure this fucking problem out. Like I will get every part, I will do everything. And it was the same thing. Like I just would not give up until I got the customer service that I expected. And we did. So all in all, I feel like I came out on top. We're going to get a big fat discount off of it all. And I can't complain. So
I can.
there you go. I did a lot. It felt good. I won't lie, it felt good. But I'm kind of in the same boat that Ann is. Like we've been like pretty diligent about getting our boxes done, and some rooms are almost completely done. But I swear to God, there's this moment where it's like you unpack a box and you think you're making progress, but then like 2 hours later you look around and you think like boxes had babies and there's like extra boxes that weren't there before. So it's a process that really takes a while, and it's understandable why people are like, yeah, I moved a year ago, I still have a few boxes that I haven't unpacked. Like, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Well, and for me, I'm just like, I want to get my like computer and everything set up, and then everything else comes after that. But like, I want my monitors, I want my computer, I want my microphone, and I just want to play video games.
Yeah.
It's like all I want to do is just play video games, and just my life is just boxes and a mess. So.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Feeling you. So anyway, that's my life.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad it got resolved. Jeff, what about you? What have you been up to?
Oh, same stuff. Man, customer service, let me tell you, I went and I got my Bearded Dragons terrarium cleaned yesterday, and they did not clean all the calcium off the walls. The light wasn't even a UV light that they put in there. It was I think it was a fluorescent light or something, and I didn't even recognize any of this.
Was that Sears Pet Store? Or
it was not Sears. Not Sears. It's actually this like store that's been. I drive an hour to it because they're so good. They've been around since 1980. They just do fucking lizards. The guy's like a human lizard man. He just like whispers lizards. But the owner of the store, was like pushing my terrarium out to the car, and he's this like kind of gruff, different kind of guy, which I really like. And he's just like he just like exclaims, he's like, "Holy fuck!" And I like look back. I'm like, "What?" He's like, "They did such a shitty job with your terrarium." And he like turned around and walked away. And I was just standing there like, And then he came back and just cleaned it out in the parking lot and was like, "Sorry about that." It was just really funny. No, not the same at all experience. But for me, I've just been flying around, being busy. Sorry, I'm part of the reason, too, that we were on a break, guys, to our fans and viewers. So if you have any hatred, I mean, mostly directed at JP, but secondarily, like if there's any that kind of sprays off of that, let it fall onto me. Whatever remnants, there's a little bit of that. But I'm happy to be back. I was at DreamHack Austin. This next week, I'm flying to LA during the week, though. Not the weekend. I'm going to do some content with Total War Warhammer 2. which is awesome. So I'm just right now getting to work with a lot of the games that I'm really interested in and really like. So it's been really fun, and it's all Warhammer stuff too, which is like also childhood Jeff would be just like dancing, and you know, childhood Jeff never dances. Certainly not adult Jeff, but even childhood Jeff does not dance. And that's it. I'm excited for Alien Covenant next week. It better be fucking good. I think it will be.
Yeah, man, I hope so. I really do. Ugh, I don't want to be hurt again.
No, I'm like minorly spoilering myself and stuff, and people are like, the complaints they have of it, I'm like, this is not a bad thing. So if the complaints are good for me, and it sounds like the movie is just a xenomorph gore fest with some awesome. They actually drop a lot of lore in it too, which I'm really excited about. So it'll be.
Yeah, me too. I hope that's something that we didn't really get with Prometheus, and I think it'll be cool if we actually do find some things out. I don't think the lore is super important in Aliens, but just to actually have some stuff answered would be cool, for sure.
Agreed. And I mean, that's me. Demon Lemming, tweet at me what Grimlock. I mean, I'll Google it, but I'll try to make a Grimlock joke, but I need to know what the joke is. So you got to help me out. Help a brother out. Well, that's it. I was joking to the cast before we started, guys, by the way, and I'm just putting this out there so it's on public record so that you know if I disappear, this is what happened. But every time one of my characters gets something super mega awesome, the show usually is like ends shortly thereafter or changes forever. So Careless mega critted a moment where he convinces the church that he attends that he is their prophet, essentially. And I'm hoping for the next year that we just get to enjoy this world where there's no problems, there's no issues. We just won. So we'll see.
We've created the most boring role-playing game of all time. Yeah.
What
nice.
decision shall you make today? It's like, well,
what kind of cheese do you want to eat in your mansion?
You have my attention.
I play that game. I'll play the cheese RPG. Yeah, for sure.
That'd be really funny. I loved Blades. It's a great show, but man, it took a turn just went a very different direction at one point. And
I'm gonna assassinate this cheese course. Look out. Oh man, Zeke, what about you? What have you been up to besides growing that sweet stash?
Yeah, looking dapper.
You look like Grandpa Earthworm Jim. Right?
You're muted. Zeke.
I've been watching chat. There's been a lot of good ones. Ron Swanson. I got a lot of Ron Swansons from from Community. Got a lot of that. Grandpa Earthworm Jim, that's a good one. I look like a dad, like somebody's dad, especially with the glasses on, I'm sure. But the thing is, I didn't grow out the mustache. I grew out the beard and just shaved everything but the mustache. So it looks normal with the mustache. Like if you shaved off everything but the mustache, Jeff.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, I know.
Sex appeal goes up tenfold.
I will give you a moment in time. Every like 3 months, I shave it all off just so that it regrows better. And Anna's like, man, you look like a 12-year-old. And I'm like, oh, thank you. I feel like a 12-year-old.
I feel like I could tell you about escrow and mortgages and stuff like that.
Have you accidentally joined any sweet dad bands in your suburbs or anything? Has that happened?
Yeah, I actually joined a Journey cover band.
Nice.
Perfect.
Yeah. Called Steve Very Good Perry band.
Wow. What about Led Zepp again?
Let's again. That's good. That's a little before my time though.
I think that's actually a band in LA.
Led Zepp again.
Yeah.
No, I've been I was in Burbank for a little while and I was doing stuff there. Had dinner with my brother who lives there. And now I'm back and ready to stash.
I see what you did there. Hey.
I'm very big in Sheboygan. Yes, totally.
Nice.
That's all I got, really.
No, yeah. We 3 weeks and we're I think we're just ready to get back into it, it seems like. Everybody wants to play some Blades. I know I do. I've been working and also catching up on video games that I missed during my self-imposed exile during the time when I was finishing Blades.
Anything good?
Yeah. Finally played all the way through Bloodborne. So that was amazing. Of course, I'm a huge fan of all those types of games, Soulsborne games, and that one was missing from my repertoire, so that was really fun. And I just caught up on Uncharted 4, which, if you know, as an Uncharted fan, I loved it. I think some people aren't into the interactive movie genre of video games, but I've always really enjoyed them, and I was worried because the game had a lot of like production woes, and people were, you know, it had a bunch of problems, and I was worried about it, but I loved it. I thought it was great, so that was fun to catch up on as well. And it's good. It's good inspiration for, well, a little bit for this session actually, because there's tons and tons of cool old ruins and things in Uncharted that not too far off from creepy catacombs underneath the Church of Ecstasy. So we're going to be getting into a little bit of that today, I think, when we get back into it. But let's do that. What do you say? Let's jump back into some Blades in the Dark.
Sounds great.
Cool. As a quick refresher, last time we played, Marcus like raised a mob basically of citizens and put a stop to this like huge ritual that the Circle of Flame was trying to do to cause you guys problems and interfere with your magic and possibly track you down, hunt you down. The Spirit Wardens were closing in, and you guys just put it into high gear. It was one of those great sessions where, as a GM, I am thinking like, yeah, okay, there's this thing happening in the background, but they don't really have any way to deal with it right now. So the noose is going to be tightening, and we'll see what they do, what job they decide to pull while the bad guys are like zoning in, and you guys are like, oh no they don't, no noose tightening for them. And you kind of dropped everything and just eradicated the problem, which was really fun to see. Rune was able to destroy the ritual, and Miss Cataby raised the mob and kind of got the public on your side, so to speak, like made the Spirit Wardens unpopular, and they had to clear out of the district and shut down their lockdown on the area that was causing Rune problems. Zeke fought the cops in a huge brawl with Aldo and gangs of criminals that got recruited.
Let me point one thing real quick. Sorry.
Yeah, go ahead.
Completely out of place, but I can't believe we did a whole intro without saying it. Happy birthday to djWHEAT, by the way. And the tie-in here, because you mentioned his character, is Gears did this amazing poster that Marcus's wife commissioned and got for him. He tweeted out, so you guys need to check out his Twitter if you haven't seen it, but that made me so happy for Marcus and so furiously jealous, so incredibly jealous.
It's pretty amazing.
That's a sick poster, dude.
I mean, shout out to both Gen and Gears. Gears went blind on a couple of the characters, and actually the most impressive one was the Fricks. Because he took my original art that I did and then just sort of Gearsized it, and it looked totally awesome. Plus, there was this great tweet. Someone was like, "Who's that character in the back?" And someone was like, "That's the alternate costume for the not fat Fricks." And I was like, "That's pretty, it's pretty good." So I thanks to everyone who gave happy birthday wishes. It's you only turn 40 once, but I have to say, everyone made it like seriously just the fucking greatest birthday ever. So thank you to everyone who made that happen.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Yeah. Sorry, John. Totally.
All right.
Yeah, thank you.
That was super cool stuff. Yeah, Gears is amazing as always.
Yeah, and I hope he has time in September, because God, there's another birthday in September maybe.
Interesting. Yeah.
Well, if we're talking birthdays, mine is 6 days away. So
That's not enough time. No, it's totally enough time. Actually, he could do that easy. He can knock that out right now, I think.
No problem. Yeah, like an hour.
Anne's birthday. Fuck it. Let's just. All right.
Yeah. So all of that culminated with Careless Firm deciding to have a meeting with Preceptor Dunville, the evil Jim Carrey, on our hit list, and yeah, it became clear that Dunville, the Circle of Flame, is like all about the artifacts of Kotar and the spirit world. That's their deal. They're anti-demon. They want the artifacts, which, according to legend, can kill demons or control demons. And they want the spirit world to become ascendant, and the church is sort of tied to the demonic side of things. They want the demonic ascension to happen. So they're at odds, and Dunville has infiltrated the church and has taken control of the catacombs underneath the church and has some kind of shit going down there, and invited Careless Firm to come and see what was going on. So Careless, realizing it's a trap, has assembled his team of killers and occult experts to go to the trap and like try to turn the tables on him. I think that's kind of where we're headed. But before that could happen, Careless decided to try to win the favor of the church instead of just being like kind of casual buddies. We did a very brief scene right at the end where it was kind of skip past it, but it turned into this whole big thing where Careless put everything on the line, basically risked the entire relationship with the church, everything that he'd built up to now with all his sacrifices to the goddess and all that stuff, put it all on the line and said, look, you know it, I know it. You guys are trying to ascend to demonhood. That's my whole deal. I used to be a demon. I'm going to lead you into the promised land. I'm your messiah, so to speak. And he fucking critted a roll with extreme effect. So yeah, so that went over pretty well, and we'll pick up with the results of that roll as we go into it. But before we get into the present moment, one thing that is good for you guys because you're so rich right now, you can do flashbacks to stuff that you may have done sort of in the meantime, off camera, so to speak, including downtime stuff. So normally you can't really do that. It costs coin or rep to do downtime when you aren't in downtime, or if you run out of downtime actions. But because you're so rich, that's what money's for in this game for the most part, is to deal with stress and to buy stuff when you're in trouble and that kind of thing. So you guys kind of have an opportunity, if you want to spend a coin and indulge your vice or anything like that would be sort of preparation for the job. But instead of us like going into a whole downtime scene, we can just spend the coin, make the roll, and like bleed off some of your cash in exchange for stress relief or whatever else you need to do. So anybody want to do that? You want to?
I think I'll do mine real quick because it's just super mega fast. I'm
yeah,
only have 2 stress.
Yep.
I'm not going to train anything, or I guess train's free is what you're saying we can do, or no?
It would cost a coin, but you could do it. Yeah.
Then no, I actually have no action. I'm just going to clarify. I took a heavy load because I know that this is a trap. So I'm heavy
Yes.
armor. I have my fine sword now, the one that I acquired recently, and then I have my spear as well.
Oh, you got your ghost killing spear. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think everyone can go heavy if you want to. Obviously, it makes you slower if there's a chase or something, but this is the kind of thing where you guys are like, you're showing up kitted out, and you've got dudes that are coming with you that the church has sent. So it's not like a stealth mission or anything. You can choose to go heavy load if you want to. That's fine.
Okay.
Anne, what about you? You're the high stress character here. Do you want to?
Yeah. I need to indulge my vice, so I'll go ahead and spend a coin.
You have a 5, right, Ann?
Yeah.
So if you roll a 6.
Yeah, 6 will
I just cleared all my.
But
You're gonna roll a 5 though, because I remember this. You had like a 2 or 3 or whatever last time. Or
I know.
And I rolled a 2. It was perfect.
Finally gonna overindulge. Nope.
Yeah. Okay, how do I do this? This is hard to do on one screen.
Oh my
Yeah.
god,
Laptop.
seriously, it's so hard.
I can't even see what it is. A 6. Highest die result. So that is an overindulge. Yeah.
Well, there it is.
I know.
It finally happened.
It's such a delayed reaction because I have to flip through all these stupid screens. Okay,
It's
so
a flashback, John.
Yeah. I think since this is a flashback, let's just hold on to your overindulgence, and we'll deal with the fallout after this, assuming everyone's alive.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that'll be fun.
Assuming
Okay.
everyone's alive. What the
Cool,
heck?
but now I don't have any stress.
Yeah.
Make believe Anne has 0 stress. Real Anne is at a 9 right now.
Yeah, right.
That's right. Moving causes 9 stress automatically. Cool. Well, that's fun. I don't think that's our first overindulgence actually, but I could be.
Is it?
No, I've overindulged before, I think.
Oh, that's
Yep.
right. You did because you lost your access to your Lotus supply. That's
Yeah.
what that's to.
I have to.
That's-
Oh. Overindulge is not a trauma. It's just a.
No.
Yeah, there's like several different things. You can get more heat on the crew. There's various stuff that happened. So we'll find out about that when we go in before we go into our next downtime. Find out what Rune did. But maybe as you're coming into the scene here, everyone's getting off the boat. You've in the underground canal. You're meeting the church, the knights of the Church of Ecstasy that have been sent to help you. When we see the crew stepping off the boat, there maybe we see that Rune has a new cool tattoo of some sort, perhaps due to her recent
Full
trip.
face tattoo of the old ladies.
The Dimmer sisters.
Just all over her face. Huge fan. Love them to death.
Just old lady tattoos.
Nice.
Oh man, what was her name? It was, God, I hate this screen.
I have it in my notes.
Lucelle.
Yeah, Lucelle.
It's one of those the sailor heart tattoos with like the barbed wire. Only instead of mom, it says Lucelle.
Nice. It has like a chocolate chip cookie heart instead of a flaming heart.
Oh, yeah.
Nice. Cool. Okay. So anybody else need to any?
Well, I got a quick question, John. It looks like I have 3 stress on the game screen, but my character sheet shows 5.
Let me double check that. Yeah, you have 2 here.
I feel like I do. I feel like 5 is actually accurate because I thought there was another for the mob.
Oh yeah. Yep, you're right. 5 is
Okay.
5. Yep.
Then I need to indulge in my dice.
Nice. Just spend a coin and you can make your roll
Okay.
as an invisible flashback, so to speak.
So I have to do the same.
All right. That will
3.
take you down to 2.
Okay, that's cool.
If you want to push your luck, you can spend a coin and do it again. But
No, I'm good with that.
cool.
2 is I can manage.
I will change your sheet thing here. Okay.
And does this mean my foresight has also reset?
No,
I still
it's not.
one use. Okay.
Yeah, you have
Okay.
1 use. Yep. We have to go into like a real downtime for that to reset.
Okay. I'm good then.
Okay. Zeke, you're at 2 stress. I assume you're okay with that.
Yeah, I'm just going to heal the rest of the way. Just get that last
Oh yeah.
level 1 harm off of me.
Right. Yeah, you're only 1 tick away, I think, so you can just do that. We don't even need to roll because 1's
Cool.
the minimum. So that
I'll pick the last of the shot out of me. Just
That's right. Yeah. I don't think you even need to visit Quellen, really. Or, well, I mean, maybe you do anyway. But, yeah, it's...
well, if we're going into, like, something that we know is going to be a fight, this might be my last fight, so, you know.
Is this a goodbye?
Gotta take some shore leave.
All right. Cool. So that costs a coin for the downtime flashback, so to speak. And
Okay.
we're good. Oh, I should remove Rune's stress, though. I still have you marked as full. There we go. Cool. So, episode 18 opens with the boat, the last words vessel, moving down through the underground canals, passing the electric lights strung up here. We haven't seen underground canals like this so much. Usually you guys have been going around in Crow's Foot, and when you were infiltrating back into the city after the job out at sea, they were mostly like grimy, nasty, kind of dank places overgrown with mold and moss, with burned out lights or guttering torches. This is different. This is in Brightstone. It's really nice. Like the water doesn't totally stink down here. There's tile work on the canal. It's not just bare stone. It's this nice clean tile that's servants come through here periodically and actually clean the underground canals, because a lot of the rich people like to use them in Brightstone to get around, especially when they're doing semi-illicit things that they don't want to do right in front of the noses of their rivals or the bluecoats on patrol. So it's actually really pretty nice down here. And as you're approaching the docks for the church, they're large. Usually there's like a wooden plank that's sort of like dangled out into the canal. This has stone docks that come out into the water that are built with these stone plinths with electric lights strung on top of them. They're all carved with the iconography of the Church of Ecstasy, which is typically some sort of athletic Grecian human form celebrating the body, which is their whole deal, as opposed to the spirit world. So they're these sort of Grecian figures wrestling or posing with a spear or something on these plinths, beautifully lit with this faint blue electric light with the mosaic tiles above it, and standing at the dock and waiting. I think this was the last thing we said last time, actually. We cut to a close-up. We see Careless's heavy boot stomp down off the boat and pan up, and we see the 8 elite church knights that have been sent to cleanse the problem with you. And they're unusual looking. They're very tall and gaunt. They're all approaching 7 feet in their armor. They kind of look like, I just realized what I was playing with in my head here. You know the Silver Knights from Dark Souls? Those really tall knights they have like 2 long horns off their helmet, sort of close-fitting armor, faintly silver with little filigrees on it. And these are like old school fucking mythical knight looking guys, which is kind of out of place normally in this setting. It's kind of Victorian-ish setting. These guys are wearing actual armor, like plated armor. They have shields and swords, like long swords. So it's weird. They look like they've stepped out of a storybook to you guys. You know, that's the past. But there's this air of otherworldliness about them. And Rune, you immediately sense that these are hollows. These are people. They're humans, but their spirits have been extracted from their bodies. They don't have ghosts anymore. And there's all kinds of different ways to do hollows. I think you are most familiar with the worst forms, the cheapest and most horrifying, the kind of mummy versions. Mm-hmm. And in the poorest parts of the city, which you and Aldo definitely are very familiar with, sometimes you see like really awful situations where someone's been hollowed and turned into a slave or something for some rich person pulling their rickshaw or that kind of thing. And they're usually shriveled and twisted and bent. But these are these grand looking, kind of the perfect form of hollowing perhaps has been done to these. But in the ghost field that you can sense, Rune, you don't get that familiar feeling of a person or like a spirit there. There's just an empty space where
a null zone.
A null zone, yeah, where their ghost should be. And speaking of spirits, as we see Rune step off the boat and see her sweet new dimmer sister tattoo, since the lockdown has been lifted and the ritual was destroyed, in the shadows at your feet, we see Myth rematerialize next to you. Myth is no longer having to hide out at the Dimmer Sisters' place. Although I kind of wish we could do a side episode that's like Myth and the Dimmer Sisters having adventures. That would be hilarious. But yeah, so Myth is there, eyes burning like coals, crushed in the shadows. And the knights all cross their shields in front of their bodies and swords, all like synchronized together as Careless approaches, and they do like a half sort of bow to Careless. There's 4 on either side of you. Which, you know, I think Careless just has assumed that this would happen to him at some point. That knights would be bowing to him.
That was his hope.
Yeah.
I think as it happens, though, he turns to the group and says, I'll explain things in a little while, but first we have this meeting. It's important, by the way, that I say we do need to get information from him. So if anyone should find themselves in a position to end his life, please delay it just ever so little. And I did promise him that Myth would be doing the killing of him in the end. So if we could do both those things, that would be fantastic.
What's everyone's reaction to these stipulations? Go into this death trap, but make sure you do it the certain way. Is everyone cool with that?
Yeah. I think if anything, there's a certain interest in like, oh, he doesn't want to kill him. This must be very important. It's like, you know, like knowing that usually it's like, hey, we're just gonna go in here and take this guy's head. So if anything, more alert.
Okay, cool. Yeah, and Zeke, you have informed me that you have spent Aldo's last advance.
Mm-hmm.
Want to tell us what you got?
Yeah. I think due to what happened last time, as far as I don't know if it was last time. It's been so long. But the secret passage behind was it a bookshelf where the 2 guys were standing and they were gonna jump out and ambush us?
Yeah.
That particular instance has resonated with Aldo so much that he could have like turned the tide single-handedly if he would have made the roll, you know, been more effective. So
they really got the drop on you in that scene.
Yeah, exactly. And he made a promise to himself that no one would ever get the drop on him again. So he is hyper aware of his situation and his surroundings and stuff like that. So I took reflexes, which the description is when there's a question about who asks first or who acts first, the answer is you.
That's right. Reflexes is pretty dope.
Yeah.
It's the kind of thing that's usually the domain of spirits and demons, that like supernatural reaction time. Almost supernatural, not like the Flash or something, but like real fast. Now Aldo has joined the ranks of super quick reflex dudes.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah. So Careless has chosen a heavy load for this operation. I think we can kind of see that in his gear. He's probably armored up and like looking like he's ready for battle. What about the rest of you? I don't think we've necessarily seen heavy load rune before. What do you guys look like when you're fully? You don't have to say like your items and stuff, but like just as a visual, like when we see the team like loaded up for battle, stepping off the boat here. What's
just
the
a
vibe?
fuckload of belts.
So many belts. Oh my god.
I would imagine Rune probably is wearing like in the picture that Gears drew with kind of the hooded cloak. So it's like a heavy, you know, obviously could easily conceal stuff, you know, with lots of pockets and that kind of thing. So just more heavy leather clothing and straps and shit.
Even more straps. Nice.
Even more straps.
Careless looks like the version of like a Duskwellen flak jacket, but it's just like a cuirass or chest piece or whatever. But he has his sleeves rolled up, gloves on. So the only armor's really his chest, but mechanically it functions otherwise. But then he has the spear over his back and then the sword out.
Nice. Yeah, it's like a almost like a Spanish conquistador or something like that.
Yeah.
That armored breastplate and just on the chest. Yeah. Cool.
I'd say that Cataby is still in more muted, darker colors, but the one thing that is definitely noticeable is under her main jacket, you can just see this really faint glow because I've got all of my electroplasm ammo that's just sort of lined up, ready to go, just ready just in case. So
that's a good idea. Very good idea. I'm glad you remembered that. Zeke, before you say anything, Rune, we should ask you. You last time, Aldo, and you had your scene. You sort of got the Spirit Warden's spirit mask away from Aldo, and defeated the enchantment on it that made it impossible to use. You like bound the mask to you. So when we see Rune this time, are you wearing your like Rune's spirit mask, or do you actually have the Spirit Warden mask with you this time? Or maybe we don't see it yet. I don't know.
I think I give him my old one because he was trying to do something with it.
Oh yeah,
you were trying to like perform some kind of magic or something. I don't know.
I think you did exchange it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think I gave him mine, and so now I just have the Spirit Warden one.
Okay. Now, do you actually have it on, or are you kind of just like keeping it on your belt?
I just have it on my belt, like at the ready.
Okay.
Yeah.
Heavy load Aldo, what's that like? Oh my God, you dragging a tree behind you, or?
No, I'm just picturing like a really thick leather. Oh God, what's the name for it? It's sleeveless and it buckles in the front.
Yeah, I think a jack is sometimes what it's called.
Yeah,
the jack.
Yeah, and it's just like it goes from neck to groin, and it's there's no sleeve, so there's no like limitation of my arm movement. But it's this thick leather that buckles in front, and he puts a nice shirt on over top of it, but you can kind of see it like underneath because it's dark compared to the white of the shirt, so you can kind of see it underneath. And I'm thinking just like pieces of leather that are molded to fit my legs and buckle in the back, so kind of like a thigh and shin guards kind of a thing underneath his pants, and you can see him because his pants are so tight anyway. You can see like them bulging underneath the pants.
So you still have your like gentlemanly kind of suit on, but you're wearing armor under the suit.
Yeah.
Nice. Okay. Yeah. Aldo still wants to present himself as this kind of well-to-do guy with a suit, but instead of bulging muscles, we can see like the armor plates like pressing. Yeah. Nice. I like it.
Just because I'm going into battle doesn't mean I can't look good, right?
That's right. Nice. Cool. All right. Yeah. So we get the hero shot there. The four of you all kitted out, Careless in the lead, maybe walking in slow motion. The Armageddon shot.
Yep. Has to be.
and the knights fall in. Like two of them fall in next to Careless, and then they kind of phalanx back as the three of you come in behind. And they seem to know where they're going. They have this very synchronized. They're walking in step with each other. And there's a landing here with this huge mosaic in the floor and the ceiling. The ceiling is arched. All the ceilings down here are arched to support the weight above. But it's like a Russian subway station or something. It's this huge, overly wrought Baroque kind of design with engravings everywhere. There's church history stuff. There's these elaborate chandeliers, and these very large, like 20-foot high, arched openings that lead off into different sections of the catacombs. So there's lots of different ways you can go. Most of them are extremely nice and well maintained and cleaned. The knights take you off down a side passageway and through one of these archways, and there's immediately this huge portcullis that's very dark beyond. There's little dotted electric lights in the distance, but you can tell that this isn't a well-used part of the church space. It's not all nice and beautifully appointed. It's maybe a service passageway or an older section of the catacombs. And there, on the other side of the portcullis, are two hooded figures. They're not wearing church gear, church robes. They're wearing these sort of ash gray, dark gray cloaks with hoods pulled up. The sleeves of the cloaks have been wrapped tightly with leather straps along their forearms. They're wearing black gloves. They have trousers tucked into slim black boots. It's sort of a uniform, like a cultist, evil cult uniform. And their hoods are these big, deep hoods shadowing their faces. And it's obvious, like, okay, these are the bad guys. And the knights stop out of reach of the portcullis and stand there for a second, and the two cultists turn to face Careless. One of them inclines their head at you to sort of acknowledge that, yes, we know who you are, we know why you're here. And then they look at each other out of their hoods and step to the side, and there's two big wheels, like ship's wheels kind of, that are winched and chained, go up into the ceiling. This big 20-foot high metal gate is attached to those. So the two of them lean into it and start clanking this thing open. Chunk, 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 chunk. And it rises up into the ceiling. Well, not all the way up. It goes like 10 feet. And then they engage these locking mechanisms on the wheels. And then the two cultists turn and sort of move aside so you have room to continue down the hallway. And as soon as they move a fraction of an inch out of the way, the knights just start marching again, as if they know where they're going. So they march you through these catacombs. And it's about a 5-minute walk from where you were. About a minute into it, you've taken a couple turns. You're getting into these dusty sections. There's cobwebs strewn across. The knights brush them aside with their shields. The electric lights are few and far between down here. It's very, very dark. It's not super moldy or anything. It's sort of dusty, like a tomb. As you walk, dust clouds kind of spring up underneath your feet. But about a minute into this, you've taken a couple turns, and in the distance you hear the like chain release and the portcullis crashing down back to the floor. So it's about a 5-minute walk back and forth through the catacombs. You get to an intersection. It's a T intersection, a passageway going left and right in front of you, and then directly across are two large arched doorways that also have these gates. They're not as big as the other ones. They're about 10 feet ceilings here. So they've got like half-size portcullis gates on either side, leading into a room beyond. And there's light coming from the room. It looks like a pool room, like when the lights are out and only the pool lights are on. There's that watery light kind of shimmering around the room. You see that, but there's a distinct odor in the air. Everyone recognizes it. Actually, Cataby, you're already getting it a little bit from your bandolier of bullets, electroplasmic bullets on your body. There's this kind of ozone, electrical burn kind of smell, which you faintly get from your ammo. But as you approach these doors, it's wafting through the portcullis distinctly, and you can hear and see that it's not water in these pools. It's electroplasm, maybe, which would be crazy to have that much of it in one place. But
Would
wanna-
would it have similar smells to when we were out in the Deadlands at Sears?
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Yes, nice callback. Totally. In Suker's secret like ghost experimentation lair, it's exactly like that. Exactly like that.
Is
Yep.
electroplasm liquid gold? Is it worth a lot?
It is actually very valuable. It's people say, I mean, this is basically true as far as anybody knows. It's processed demon blood, right? The Leviathan hunters go out to sea, they contend with giant demons of the void and drain their blood and bring it back to the city, or take it to Lockport across the sea, where it gets processed in these huge refineries. But there are small little refineries in the city. Rune has some hookup. She has electroplasm generally on her person, so she gets it from somebody who probably has a little distillery or something somewhere. But yeah, how does that strike you, Jeff? Like smelling the processed blood of your people. Does that have any impact on you, or are you just used to it by now?
I think getting inside the head of Careless, it's a little bit it's different because they don't have a unity with all demons. There's actually like, warring factions, and then there's just different tiers of demonhood, and it's just all very segmented. So it's not like I look at that and it's my kin people or something like that. It's more I look at that and Leviathans are like giant demon beasts type of thing. So that's more detached for me. That's like those are feral demon monstrous things that when they get killed, I have as much attachment to it as I would like a whale. But if I saw like some fat slothering guy who's like, this stuff's so stupid or something, like that would probably get me pissed off because it's more sacred to me than it is human life or something. But
right, but it's not like
demons
demons aren't one big tribe or something.
Right.
You see it as all these different groups, and the Leviathans are being preyed on, and that's not your thing. That's
right.
separate from you. Gotcha. Cool. Yeah, so the knights, they approach, and they just kind of pick one of the doors, the right one, I guess. And it's a similar process. There's a cultist just beyond the portcullis there, and they crank the wheel to clear the thing up and lock it. And you guys come in to the space. Let me flip over to the map here so you guys can see the sort of layout of the room. There we go. So on the right there are two openings in the wall, those which are the two portcullis gates. And then I've just kind of put your tokens there in the general arrangement. You guys can kind of be wherever you want, but and I put myth as a little red token there next to you. The green squares are the knights that have arrayed around you, and then this room, it's quite large, as you can see here. It's a big rectangular space. There are 6 pillars that go up to the vaulted ceiling, which is all in shadow. It's got that sort of watery light playing across the vaulted stone. In the square defined by those 6 pillars in the middle, as you can see here, let me indicate it. What's my color right now? It's not a good color. I'll do white. This rectangle right in the middle of the room is a stone sarcophagus, or the bottom of it. It doesn't have a lid, and it's extremely rough. Everything in here is nicely fitted stone and human-made construction. The thing in the middle, it's this rough, almost volcanic-looking stone that's been roughly hewn into a rough rectangular shape, glistening blackly in the electroplasmic light. The blue around the outside, by the way, is a channel in the floor. It's hard to tell how deep it is, but probably about a couple feet wide, and it's got this fluid running around the room. It's not pure electroplasm is quite bright. It's energetic and casts a lot of light. This fluid seems to be sort of diluted, maybe electroplasm. It's got this black oily mixture within it, but swirling inside the black oil are these streaks of energetic blue electroplasm. and that's what's casting the light. And it's the only light in the room. So these playing blue lights on the ceiling and casting shadows around the room. It's quite dark, but you can faintly make out all these white circles are cult members that are scattered around in the shadows. They're not hiding. They're not like trying to be out of sight. They're just standing there with their hoods down, but it's quite hard to make them out. And then the blue circle there is Preceptor Dunville himself. He's also wearing the cult garb, but his hood is thrown back. He has his evil Jim Carrey face, and his hair is slicked back, and he has a look of he's bemusement, I guess. If someone really wants to study him, you can, but he doesn't look completely panicked by oh my God, what is that? Is that me? No, that's not me.
It's Preceptor Dunville, man.
Yeah, he's like a tea kettle boiling over.
Man.
As the knights come in, clearly there's no way he could have like expected that Carlos would show up with fucking hollow church knights in his retinue. But to his credit, like he just kind of has a wry sort of smile on his face. He doesn't look especially worried. Again, if someone wants to study him, you can see if he's actually worried or not.
Although, you got to get studied, don't you?
Yeah, I do, Jeff. It's a fantastic study role.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
I've got 2 in study.
I mean, anybody who wants to can. It's like a fortune roll. If you kind of want to see, like, does this guy, is he still confident even though we've brought these knights, or is he actually super scared? That might be information that you would want. So.
Oh yeah, everyone do a study roll.
Yeah. If it can be like a group action, and if you guys blow it here, he'll turn the tables on you and study you too, and kind of get a read on what you're kitted out with and stuff. But
you want to lead, Aldo, or how much stress do you have?
5.
No, you're not leading. You can take stress from fails.
Yes,
I guess
he has
right?
2 stress, Jeff. He rolled a 5.
Oh, you mean leading as far as the group action goes?
Yeah, or you can do it yourself.
Let's just do his.
If you want to keep your 5, that's fine. If you want to do a group action, everyone can roll and we'll take the best. But if you want to keep the 5, then we're good.
No, just do the 5, I think. Okay.
So Zeke, although you get a good look at his face as you step up there, and he seems confident, but the knights are getting like he didn't expect that, and there's a chink in his armor. He's not worried like, oh, I need to change my plans now, and this was a bad idea. Oh my God, what have I got myself into? He's not feeling that. But you can tell that he's like, oh no.
It's a factor he didn't think of.
Oh no. Yeah. It's definitely it, and that's good information, right? He's not like, that doesn't matter. I don't care that I brought 8 Hollow Knights. That doesn't matter to me. He's like,
right. So I look right at him, and I get this sense from him, and then I kind of I don't take my eyes off him, but I say it as an aside to the group. Oh, well, he didn't expect us to have so many friends.
Nice.
I think that's as good a place as any.
Yeah. All right. Let's take our first break right there, and we will be back with more Blades in the Dark in just a few minutes. Stick around.